Good afternoon. No, good evening. Good evening, people. Good evening. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How you all doing? Yes, today it's Saturday. This is my second video for the day. Today's Saturday, May 4th, 2024, and the time it's about let's see, oh, 9 9:30, around 9:30 p.m. Oh, I have, boy, I want to talk about controversial subject. Religion, why do we need it? And I'm going to talk about Christian fundamentalism. Um, yeah, I was watching a video. Um, it was on a family, the Dugard family. Very triggering. Very, very triggering it was watching it. And this new channel that I've came across that discusses about people who were involved with cults. And it was very triggering. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it, how, hope I could remember everything. But I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with church. And I also want to talk about the current topics on the music industry and also modeling too. It's all in the same category. I think what they all these things, what they all have in common are the victims of SA abuse. Yeah, these days you have to be careful about certain words. You can't say certain words. But it's a three-letter word, S as in Sam, and then the A about abuse. Okay. It dawned on me that all these different things, all the things that's happening in the media, they all seem to have a common denominator. And why so? I think if people go deeper on the subject of what happens in some of these religious cults, and any denomination could become a cult. And again, this live stream is not about poo-pooing any one faith-based system, but really thinking about my relationship with. At one time, I um, was involved in the Christian church, but I was never involved in what they call fundamentalism within the faith. But I would say the closest I got to it was with the Pentecostal church. Um, that's about it. But I want to talk about it. Again, it's very triggering. Yes, hello, viewer. Good evening. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some touchy subjects. Yeah, and again, I guess it's really to get it off my chest. Um, I am feeling a little stressed. Some topics are just that. So I guess I say up front, if if you're sensitive about um, or are easily triggered about SA within the church, or what they talk about in the music industry, modeling, maybe, maybe not to listen and not to have little children, minors, listen to this conversation. Um, I mean, I mean, I just put that out there like that because I know I feel uncomfortable about it watching um, videos on. Yeah, I was watching about what they call Christian fundamentalism, and I forget the acronym that they use, but um, they have uh, Christian organizations, and they 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 have they design a course or series of classes for um, very religious Christian people, and they do a lot of homeschooling. And you buy I guess maybe you could buy it, the curriculum, and you follow it and things like that. And they have these, I think call it conventions and meetings, and people from the United States, different, they come and meet, and you get to maybe meet a possible future mate. Um, and so this curriculum is being followed, and the program that I was watching uh, exposed some of the things that were going on. And I think I'm going to talk about that. Well, a couple of years ago, boy, I can't remember exactly when. I know, I'm pretty sure I was still a student in college. Let's see, I finished my curriculum in 2011. So it could have been before 2011. Yeah, I know, I'm pretty sure it was way back. But at one time, well, um, I I used to call myself a born again Christian. I was introduced to Christianity. I was maybe 20 or 21. I had no religious training prior to that. And I thought, like someone with my background, always made to feel that I was not good enough, just, just something wrong with me. And so religion gives the illusion and initially that under Christianity you'll be treated as an equal on some level because we're all one under God, in that aspect. But with these fundamentalist movements, that they have this hierarchy, and then the woman and then the kids, and this a stressing of obedience. You got to obey. Um, well, again, I had seen this program many years ago, and I think again it might have been before 2011 when I was still in school. I found this program on the internet. I think called 19 kids, no, 18 kids and counting, 19 kids and counting, or something like that. It was a a white family who were devout Christians, and they believe in the um, strict adherence to God's word. And ladies, a lady's job is just to have kids and you know be a helper to your husband, you know. Very traditional. The woman stays at home. Um, they're not encouraged to have, go to college or anything like that. And it made it seem like, wow, this is when I was watching at the time, at that time, I was very insecure with myself and trying to find myself and feeling inadequate because now I did go to church, but I wasn't finding this fulfillment in the church. And I think the social pressures of living in America at the time, um, and you just feel like you just want something to look up to. And so when I found the program, 19 Kids and Counting, counting the Dugard family. I think they live in Arkansas. And it sound nice on paper. It sound pretty, their family dynamics. They had 19 kids. Wow. And they made it seem special. Um, they were homeschooled. They go to those conventions and they're networking too. Um, it did have a he-man approach to things. I remember that. The husband's supposed to be the wise man and everything. The woman is just subservient. That aspect I didn't like, but I like the idea of family unity. And I think, I do come from a relatively large family, total of 7 kids and my parents. But not 19, that's really something. But they made it seem very pretty, idealist, idealism. But it's Hollywood. It's it's not real. One thing having a lot of kids because you're forced to have a lot of kids and you can't use um, birth control. I feel that these religion, it seems like religion, like you have scriptures, but it's how people interpret and practice what they claim that they're reading in the Bible or whatever literature. And I remember how the outfits it talked about, modesty and things like that. It sounded nice on paper. And also during this time, 2011 and back, I was going to a school that had a lot of Orthodox Jews. And you also had Islamic people, Muslims. And this thing on modesty is so much focus upon the woman. And you ask yourself about the fundamental of religion, Christian religion, um, the music industry, and it's about how it affects culture. A lot of people are raised directly or indirectly with religion. You're influenced in some way, even if you're an atheist. You live in a culture that has um, exposure to religion. And I notice with the fundamentalists, the Mormons, even, this preoccupation with this, what they call monism. Not on the surface, I thought, oh, isn't that nice? Especially when I was in school, college, this, about you have to dress a certain way and you made to feel, oh, this is a special people are like this, that you're better than other people if you dress a certain way, modesty. I ask myself, If all these ladies are modestly dressed, why is it that people in their religion, well, I should say, uh, many of the men in these religions, why do they seem to have a problem with their body, their own body, and to be able to control their um, impulses, if you know what I mean? Why is that? Why is it that religion doesn't seem to cure these problems that these fundamentalist slash orthodox groups, why can't they seem to have a good management of this? And then when I was watching the program, today on this fundamentalist Christian group, there was a child with the Duguid family. Yeah. Um, it turns out that that show, 19 Kids and Counting, it was a cute little show. Um, but it came out, and the program that I just watched elaborated on what I thought I heard some years back. But yeah, they had this kid on the program. I think he might have been the oldest boy. And he had told his parents that he had a problem. And the parents brought him to some, I think, the authorities. But this authority guy was a friend of, I think, the father of somebody. Um, and they let him go. They said, well, it comes from a good home, blah, blah, blah. But if he does it again, then we'll throw him in jail. How come it seems like these organizations, they're very lenient when they about the men's struggles with keeping the faith or the standards of being in good standing, but the females seem to get um, treated very harshly, and I didn't understand that. I did not understand why you know a young girl wearing a particular thing, and the shaming. It was they talked about this in the program, that this one girl was made to feel that there was something wrong with her. She was a young girl, and the men liked looking at her, and she was blamed why they were looking at her. And what's really weird about it is that Rory um, ultimately became a member of what I call the alphabet soup community. And I think it's sad that such an oops, the battery's low. Let me make sure that it's plugged in. Hold on. Oh, it wasn't plugged in. Let me turn that on. Ah, oh, I'm sorry about that. I thought I turned the button on to turn it on. I had plugged it, but I didn't turn it on. My apologies. Yeah, a message just popped up. There's low energy, low batteries. Okay. So again, I question why she's blamed for her looks. And I remember this other actress, female actress, and she had the same type of problem. I guess her family went to church, and there was like a youth, what do you call it? Like a division in the church for the young people to meet and everything. And so she relayed to the head of this group that she's being bothered by the guys. So they said, "Oh, well, well, you're just a pretty girl, that's why." So again, when you say that, it's blaming her for the men's reactions. And this young lady went to such an extent because the pressure upon her was that great of these predators that she just took it on herself and she decided that who she was gonna, be with. And yes, they did get married, but she felt forced to get a boyfriend, um, to just, because she knew what they wanted, but it's like she decided on her own terms, and she's happily married to the guy, you know. So I'm happy at least the outcome for her, but to feel that you're forced to get into an intimate relationship because of the predators. And so how come these religions or the faith-based systems, the fundamentalism, the orthodoxy, how come they never address the issue to the males? It's like these women are blamed for everything. If you don't address yourself, I mean, a woman can, a female could only do so much to not put attraction to. But the more you hide something, the more you put focus or your whole lifestyle based on that one thing. Don't be attracted to me. Don't. You're going to say yes, yes, yes. To deny does not change your attitude. It intensifies it. Repeat, hiding something that's trying to poke its head up, and no pun, no real pun intended about that, but you have to address the issue because the monster is always going to pop up. You have to address the issue. So if you only rely on the female to address that issue and not both, who is having the real issue? The girl is taught to feel that something's wrong with her, makes her feel self-conscious, and the male is not being taught how to self-discipline yourself. If you only rely on one party, you have what you're looking at. Don't look at it. And then I also ask myself, how is that we say that God is able to save people, according to some religions, faith-based system, that you have a God that loves you. But why did this God design your body to be able to attract um, a potential um, mate slash spouse? How could this God have the power to save you from your sin, but he can't, you know, save you from your own urges? You got to ask yourself these questions. We go to places of worship and then we tell each other that you have a powerful God Your God is able, and that it has this power, that power. And you notice God seems to always be a male. And if God created humanity, the animals and everything, there's both male and female. But you always hear about a male God. So how could someone, a God that is supposed to be a male, how could he understand about females if he doesn't have his counterpart? Why don't they talk about God, the father and the mother? Maybe that's a big problem about this faith-based system, that you're saying that there's a God, usually a male form, and is writing laws about how male and female are to interact, but yet he doesn't have a male of a female. You got to ask yourself these questions. How could someone so powerful that created what your body does, but is unable to put a safety line to keep you in check about certain things in relating with certain bodily urges? How could the God protect? How could they protect you, but you can't protect you from your own body? Here, these people in the documentary I saw about with the Do-Good family and people who are involved in the organization that they, that it's like a school program that they adhere to. Um, how come that it's nothing is being nothing is being protected? People, does this make sense to you? A powerful God, but how come God doesn't protect you from each other? But yet this God's supposed to be come down all power and save the planet. Why aren't they saving the planet now? We're putting so much trust in others who make a claim. It's a claim that's made. There's a claim that's made, but there's no deliverance and proof of the ability. I know there's a word for things like this. What's that? I forget the term, but it really means like you know what the truth is about it, but because you're so brainwashed that you accept this reality. Something dissonance is called, something dissonance. And we follow it. And we teach our children, our community, about this certain faith-based systems, saying they could do this and that, but then this guy doesn't seem to have a power to protect, to design a model, the human being to behave a certain way. But again, they say, well, in some faith-based system that sin entered. And again, like in the story of Adam and Eve, who is really blamed for all that? Who in humanity is blamed for that? The woman. And again, they always seem to use now. I've read Genesis, the book of Genesis, many times, and it never it 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 never specified that she used sexuality or even forced him. She only said, hey, I took this, and nothing happened. And he partook, the scriptures say. So why, if Eve was deceived, Eve wasn't looking for trouble, but she partook. And then he partook. Why didn't this God protect them and not have it at their reach? When she was being lied to, when Eve was being lied to, how come this loving God, how come it didn't come to her defense? And then she's blamed. And then they take scripture and then they distort it and punish the woman. And it's always something of a sexual nature that she's being blamed to do. I remember one time I had worked with this, I had this job. I was in retail. And my then boss said, women don't know how to sell. The only thing that women do, they do that thing. That's how he said it. Women know how to do that thing. Meaning know how to use, I guess, what we call flirting to sell something. Well, men flirt too, right? But it was something. He's saying that women don't have real talent, but women have a big influence how they could manipulate men to do things. So and again, I'm not trying to male bashing. That's not my point about male bashing or even female bashing or about religion. But I mean, I'm not here to bash for the sake of bashing. I'm saying these things, I'm sharing these things to open your eyes about what's going on. And how I think all this thing, even with fundamentalism, orthodox religions, all that it's all seemed to be tied in, even in this music industry. I remember about modeling, the same thing, that if you look at it, that is all these scandals all of a sudden coming out again. And also acting too. That's all a part. It's all under the same umbrella, in my opinion. So all seem to have a problem with that same thing. One's body. Wear this, wear that. And it's like, I think some of us are giving double messages. See, if you dress too conservative, they say you're prude. And then if you dress up too much, oh, you're that other thing. But it's never put on men that they overly dress or underdress. It's never thrown on them. It's never. I've never heard it. And I feel that it excuses men's behavior because you have a religious system, because religion seems to be the gatekeeper. Religion, and I think all religions, especially the major religions on this planet, serve as the gatekeeper and the central programming upon society. It is the foundational program, how we're supposed to behave to one another. It programs us to act and do certain things. And so, what your faith-based system is, whether you are an actor, a musician, a model, it all seems to be under the same spell. under the same influence somehow. Because if you look at it, on social media, what do you see out there? There's the movie industry, but it's not as big now, it seems, the movie industry because of the COVID that came out a couple of years ago. And people are watching things on the internet rather than going to the theaters, you know. Um, it influences us. And definitely music influences us. It makes us feel a certain way. And now with the videos, like before, it was the radio. You don't know what your artist looks like unless you go to like the music store and you look at the album covers that they used to have back in the day. Now it's um, video, so you see and hear them. And they're becoming very creative at how to make the videos. So this really engages us to watch, and it programs us, it programs society, and it's really targeted to young people. And a couple of months ago, it could have been the month of February 2024, I met a young woman. I had my dog with me, my little dog, and she was 11, or I think she was 11 or 12, I forget. I know she told me. And she wanted to see the little doggy. And then she started talking to me. She was waiting for the school bus, and she's had her younger sister with her, and she very progressive in her thinking. And she shared with me that she wants to become a lawyer, and the younger sister wanted to be an animal doctor, um, or physician, I forget, but something in the medical field. And the older sister said that she notices that when they are conditioning women, young girls, to act certain ways. And she didn't like it. And she didn't like how it was making them dress and act. And she wants it to stop. I mean, this is a young girl. I was impressed. I was. See, they're targeting the youth younger and younger. And I really think that I really think that the system knows that its time is running out, and they're trying to quicken it to get as much people under the spell. And so they're doing earlier, targeting younger and younger, getting these, the performers also seem to be getting younger and younger. They're getting little teenagers. Why is this? Why this overindulgence of the human body, if you know what I mean? Such a younger and younger age, this initiation. And with the current musician, this what they call mogul, this rap mogul, what is it all about? I did not know. I don't follow that music genre. Of course, I've heard of this particular person. I'm not going to give the name. But yeah, it's been around for like 30 plus years, Um, but you're hearing about it now. You notice that? This focus so much. And it all really is about that one thing, to get people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And even if some of them wanted to do certain things willingly, they still wanted to abuse them and put substances in their beverages, to further humiliate them. Why? Don't you wonder? I mean, it seems like everything in the media is focused on this music, um, the music industry, um, with the what they call the hip hop culture. I mean, back in the 1970s when I was growing up, everything was about rock music. You notice you don't hear anything about rock music? I mean, when I was growing up, that's all you heard, rock music, or about rock music and the musicians and the things that would happen in the hotel rooms. That's the only thing that you hear, that they trashed the room. That's all I ever heard. But now you're hearing so much, and it's awful. Now it's like the only thing you hear is a hip hop music. You don't hear by any other music genre really. And I'm wondering why. Why is this? Why this attention, and now with the hip hop music seem to be the focal point of music in America? I mean, in my exposure of music under social media, I really don't hear of anything else these days. And unless, yes, as I said, they're getting younger and younger, these performers, because they want them younger. You get a young person like these musicians, they always attract people who are younger than themselves. Like, for example, let's say the performer back in the day was in their 30s. The people that would be interested in them would be the teens. And now that the kids are in their teens now being recruited, now it's like little teeny boppers, little 10-year-olds, you know what I mean? So each level they get younger and younger, the people who they are trying to appeal to. They're doing this because they they know that the follower will do what they want them to do. And this is sad. But yet, we're supposed to believe that there is a creator out there. Excuse me. They always say, God, because I think it's a difference between God and the creator. But they use the term God. I don't understand with this system. We put so much faith in something that doesn't deliver. If I made all those promises, what they say, what the scriptures say, and don't deliver, so why, you know, how could you respect me if I cannot do what I promise? People, we have to start waking up. Why are you following something that cannot deliver? And I may mention about this before. Our bodies are designed, but we're told that it's dirty. And then I thought, when I was watching the program of these fundamental religions, I thought about, you have some countries in, what do you call it, what they call primitive cultures, the first cultures. And people may live in those hot climates and they're not wearing much clothes. You notice that they're not objectifying the bodies like in the so-called know-it-all cultures. Why is that with these primitive cultures? The body is treated with respect. At least not like how it is where I'm from. Why is this? How come the God of the primitive culture seem to, how come it works for them? How come it's not working in big urban centers? Why is that, people? I remember some years back, back in America, I was noticing again about the churches, and I started noticing the shapes of the buildings. And I said, the church buildings, you notice a church that it's made with a long point. That is an antenna. It's an antenna. And they require you to sing and dance and put all your energy. And I believe it's to harvest your energy. These gods seem to want to tap on you. It seems like you are serving, that you're doing, it seems like you're doing more for this God than this God is doing for you. This God seems to require so much from you, but yet it's supposed to be so powerful. You have to feed this God. You got to, like in the Bible, you got to you have burnt offerings. You got to do this or that, and it's like, wait a minute. Why does this God require so much from you? It seems like God needs man more than man needs God. In this context, I'm talking about. And does this make sense, people? To you? A God that needs chicken and beef, all these, a sheep, goat, all these things to feed this, to satiate this God. And if you don't do it, or you don't do it correctly, you get punished. It's backwards, people. And you are being fooled. And you're creating all these churches all over, especially the poor. In America, you go to a black neighborhood, got to switch hands. You go to a black neighborhood, typical black neighborhood, man, you're going to find so many churches. And somehow this God can't seem to help black people get it together or stop being oppressed. We dance the hardest, we sing the hardest, and we give more money than the others. But yet this God can't seem to love us, to help us, but is used to suck your resources. And I found out by this person, there's something I heard over the internet. Someone had was auditing this church. There was some money missing, and he had gotten this auditor or something, and she was looking into this matter, and she found a no. Yeah, the church was funneling money into this particular country. I'm not going to give the name, but it's somewhere in the Middle East. I'll just say that. Oops, sorry. Yes. Money from the black community. And there are a lot of these church members are Masons people, are fratters, as I call them, sorority people. Yeah, they're there, right? and they tell you what to do, and they pretend, many of them, that they're doing a benefit for somebody, but they are not. They are agents, in my opinion. Many of them are join these organizations because they think it's going to help them get a good job or whatever, you know. Yeah, they're there. See, you're pimping yourself out, or I should say prostituting yourselves out to these organizations. You're giving them your money, making them more powerful. And in the end, they're gonna come knocking on your door one time, at some time. And they're gonna tell you what you have to do. Yeah. Um, yeah, these churches, it seems like this God doesn't seem to know how to protect Black people in America. And look at now, all of America is really going down the tube. And not just Black people now is being destroyed, but everybody. And it's imploding on itself. See, all these systems are all related because in everything with all this, with the religion, the music, the what do you call the movies, music, modeling agency, they're all about collecting your essence, your worship, your energy. And a big way to collect your energy is through certain physical engagement, if you know what I mean. Yes. And there is what they call that magic. And they do a magic with their anatomy to facilitate certain um, outcomes that they want to get. It's really something, people. I mean, I heard about that. I remember growing up in the late 70s and early 80s. Um, yeah, I mean, things were happening back then, over 40 years ago. The actress name, the model actress, Brooke Shields, she was 15 years old. And they had her in very, very adult situations. But they like played it off that this was all just a like playing adult, like it was a game. But when I look at it, when I think about it now, like she we were both young. I was like 2 years older than Brooke Shields, and that she had a big influence. I mean, how they presented her had a big influence on me, and I questioned. I said, why is she required to do that? And why all that makeup? And so when I turned 18, I started buying I got my first little job. I was in college, into college for the first time. And I remember when I bought my first makeup. And I remember how they, when you think about it, I think when you look, you could just go on YouTube and look up the commercials with Brooke Shields on it. And it wasn't considered obscene. It was all considered, oh, isn't that cute? She's a young girl, a 15-year-old doing that. It's not a joke. And it's not cute. Just imagine the young girls back then who were influenced by the commercials with Brooke Shields on it, and may have felt required to act certain ways. And I remember that yeah, I was interested in doing the modeling. Thank God I didn't get into it. Yeah, it is a very seedy industry, very seedy. Yeah, they're all related. They're all related. Yeah, the 1990s, the modeling industry became, was becoming more of the pop culture. So they started getting a little older than just than 15, with the some of the evening shows of the state. Those, what do you call it? They would introduce pop culture. Yeah, this is in the 90s, early 90s. And yeah, they included the actors and the models and the sports too, sports people. And remember that, remember with the sports people, the basketball people, they had this guy, he's a basketball player. And I remember he came out with a dress. He was wearing a dress. Um, he wore makeup, big bleaches, all these, real flamboyant. I remember that. I guess the industry, wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, the sports too. Yeah, you notice now the sports people are becoming very flamboyant. Why is this? Why? It's really weird, people. Yeah, everything is just becoming like a cesspool. All of them. And it seems like the more money they make, the more um what's the word I'm thinking of? The money, it's like they're chasing the dream of money. They're chasing it. And it seems like at any cost, they're willing to do this. And they're being blackmailed, as you see what's coming out. Blackmailed. And it's shocking. It's shocking to me that the black performers many are behind this. And it gives a new light. Like you hear about, like they have these parties, some parties. How many parties do you need? What are these parties for? And you notice the rich. Why do they? I was watching a program yesterday and the day before about these big fancy mansions in America. Why are they so damn big? I mean, some of them got like 20, 40, what was that, 50,000 square feet? What are you going to do with all that space? Why do you need all that stuff if it's just your house? Well, people, I think the answer is being revealed with the current, the hip hop performer. Or what were they doing at these parties? Um, the people were being drugged, allegedly being drugged, the women especially. They put stuff like actually they were saying that, see, some of the girls are wising up. So they don't trust the alcohol. But they said a lot of these young girls like what they call mixed drinks. So they don't put in the alcohol. They put it in the apple, what do you call it? The orange juice. They put in the juice, the drugs. So the girls think that's safe because they saw them open up the alcohol and pour it. Well, they didn't see about the juice when they made the juice. They put in the juice, people. Yeah, wow, I didn't know about that. Wow. Yeah. Why are they so, it's like a frenzy. This, it's such a decadent. It's like the fall of Rome. Maybe this also happened with Rome, and it fell hard. They say the United States is an extension of Rome. So it seems like it's going to do a big plunge, and I don't think it's going to be any recovery from it. But again, why the benefit? Why even have these parties? To drug someone, to compromise someone, to blackmail. What is the ends to the means? Why? Well, again, it's about energy. And maybe these parties, they do magic. These so-called gods might be present at these parties. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know. But that energy is being taken somewhere. Something. I mean, how much money do you need? Why do you need to blackmail someone? Well, they say, well, about control. What is that you want to control? What is it? What is it you want to control with an actress or an actor or musician? And even the youngsters, the little teenagers. Why? The Bible does talk about on some circumstances about the sacrifices that were made of they call them young virgins. I think they use that term. Um, well, maybe that was just a code. What's happening in those things? Their sacrifices, all right. It is so sad, people. These, it's just it's occupying so much time now. And maybe a lot of it that's happening, uh, a smoke screen, a distraction. It is, yes, it is. I think in part it is used as a distraction because they know people like hearing about stuff like that. What are they distracting you from? That's the real question. What is a distraction? Well, I think, well, it's a world distraction, and it's a way of really subjugating people, subjugating us until it's too late. And these gods, like again with the Bible talk about, God is coming back. Which God? And what is the promise of when this God comes back? What will the new system be? Well, if you have an imperfect God that can't that designs our body to act a certain way, then shame us for the design that we're giving. How they gonna how are they perfect? What do they do to correct the mistakes that they made? You ever ask yourself that? What did they do to prevent from happening again? Why did they let it happen? I think it's a takeover. It's a takeover of a system. And in nature, everything has its beginning and end, beginning and end. It's very cyclic. And maybe this is just a repeat after a repeat, people. They say nothing's new under the sun. Well, I know I don't like this system. I don't like what it's making people do. That we're desperate. We're getting desperate. We're desperate for money. You don't see animals, dogs, cats, lions, bears. You never see them with a wallet. They don't require money. So why do we require money? You have people here where I live. You have a lot of poor people, and they don't have money for food. It's a system. I mean, it seems like it's a system that is designed to pull us away from the natural order of things. Money is not a natural element, but we'll fight for it. You have these young 15-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls, 16-year-old girls who do anything for money. And maybe even boys too do anything for money. Why? This love of money. And they never get satisfied with it. And I used to work in sales, and it was awful because many times it was commission based too. You rely on the commission from every sale you make. And it was ugly how we were acting. And the people who did the best were the most greedy. They were vicious. The greed that comes out. And then some of them get with, yeah, they get burned out. And they have to be carried out, I heard. What is happening to humanity? And this money system, money is not natural. Money is a god here. We'll fight for it. We want to please it. We want everything to do to get it. We worship money. And it's insatiable. The more you have of it, the more you want. And it's a frenzy right now. I hope in this new system, yes, it's a new order of things that's trying to be developed right now. And they're setting up shop, repositioning things throughout the planet. Yeah, I do believe this is a slave planet. I think this was designed to punish, to it is the matrix. And it seems to be here to have us do things, exploit our genetics, and then create a system called civilization, which is unnatural. And it's spreading throughout the planet. Where I am now, you see such a division between what they call civilization and the more natural, indigenous cultures. And those who haven't followed the those who do follow, I should say, the more indigenous culture are the ones who are struggling. And he said that the more you are tied into what they call civilization, the higher up you go. But the more dependent you become on the system, when the economy, when things happen, a natural disaster, what they call a recession happen, you're at the mercy of the creator of that money system. It is entrapping us. Money is entrapping us. You have parents who sell their children. I've never seen a dog sell its puppies. Never. And here we're supposed to be so elevated people, and we're an embarrassment. Yes, this whole planet is taken over by a system. They are the true perverts over this reality, this 3D lifestyle. They're removing the natural order of things. They introduce this civilization, uh, introducing a monetary system, a banking system, where they make counterfeit and they manipulate how the money is counted and about the interest. How come you don't get interest anymore? Hardly any. Why is that? It's because they're implementing a slave system, more and more enslavement, more restrictive. Yeah, it's like we're working and working and working, but you get less and less of your own money. And then soon, you can never make enough money. And you become the slave over those who have, who make up the rules as time goes on. And I hate it. I hate it. God, how this God that they say claim that they love us and not protect. What is the next system? Well, maybe it's just this. They're just flip-flopping. And it's not like a savior. It's just changing over the system, just like the seasons change, the change in people who are in control. They take turns. So it's not that one is good and another one is bad. They're all the same. They want your control. Yeah, they're planetary systems out there, I believe. Or maybe it's just a multi-dimensional system at play. And some of us have the ability to go to different dimensions and experience things. I mean, I don't know. I think so, because you have people could see things during meditation. There are other worlds out there. I don't know how it all works, people. That's for sure. I'm not an expert. Something's up. And I'm not sure how they're going to play it, but I think that it's a global system. It's not just one place. It is like a money grab. They're grabbing what they can. They're getting as much as possible now. But the true valuable beings here are the people. We are so valuable for these other beings / gods. If they're so powerful, how come they can't do it themselves? Why do they need us, people? Why do they need us? You have to ask yourself that. They want us to be dependent on them. And they don't want to realize how important and strong we humans really are. They're trying to dilute our genetics and make us become more like them. Wow. I know I'm saying a lot, people. And I know most of you won't understand what I'm talking about. But there's something going on, and we all are affected by this. Please grab on to your humanity, people. Please grab on to your humanity. And don't get suckered in to the fast lane of pursuing money. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting your bills paid because we do live in this system. But if you can break out of that system and really live according to nature, that is what I desire for myself. I worked in the financial district in America. I worked in many industries, and I couldn't find peace in any of these industries. I worked with department heads who probably made a lot of money in bonuses on Wall Street area. They're not happy campers. People are just being, I don't know. And now with social media controlling I mean, like here where I live, I thought I wouldn't need a cell phone here. Well, here you are required oftentimes a cell phone to make payments. Yeah, yeah, it's a takeover, planetary takeover. They want to make everything digitalized, everything, digital money. And if you, what if you run out of electricity to charge up your devices? They could have, they can cripple you. Say, hey, let's cause them to get more excited and ugly, and let's turn off the power so they can't pay their bills, they can't buy food, etc., etc. They can't travel. See, that civilization was designed for slavery, but they did it in increments and they made it look like it was your friend because it did more for you on the surface. But actually, it was designed to enslave and how to say, entrap you, to pull you away from the natural order of things. Yeah. So they can harness your energy. They're forcing people to live in these cities. And did you hear about the 15-minute cities that are being implemented? That is another prison, and you can't get out, and you're stuck. And they have us all blinded with all this social media to capture your attention. While in the process, they are trying to enslave all of you, all races, all religions, all of you. Yeah, it won't matter about what you make because you're all going to be limited. You're all going to be poor. People, please wake up. Please grab onto your humanity. Please take care of your family, your children. Please go outside in nature if it's safe for you to do so, to give you a sense of humanity. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I want to learn how to grow food. I'm growing a what do you call a little avocado. I put it in water. Boy, it took about 3 or 4 months for it to grow. It just started to grow now. Wow. Yeah. Grow some plants. It might make you feel better. It make you feel like wow, you could create something beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, be watchful of your children. Your children are being exploited. And they're targeting them younger and younger. Yes, please watch over your little ones. And this subject with men and women, you know what I think? I think women came from one reality and the men came from another. And that they forced us to together on this planet. And it's pure hell. Why did I say that? Okay. Well, if your origins are really that you're all so-called evolved together, why there's so much discord between us? I think that we were separate. We developed separately, whatever what world we came from. And then they forced us together. See, they always want to do something, create a strife. And the best way to cause a strife is to get two alien together, two foreigners together, and force them together. Just like what happened in the Americas when Atlantic slave trade. They got people from many different tribes and then force them together and then pit one against the other. See, if they were always together, that really can't happen, or could it? I think they were different, and they came from different worlds, and they know the dynamics between the two, and they um, exploited the dynamics between the different nature between male and females, and genetically modified us so that we become genetically dependent to be able to procreate. But at the same time, we don't, or we didn't grow up in the same genetics, origins. So it's two components that the modification that they did to us, which is the foreign aspect. Well, let me rephrase that. We have some similarities because of tinkering of our genetics. But at the same time, we come from two different worlds. And that's what they using to exploit us. Like when Eve ate of the forbidden fruit, it talks about a division. Something happened. Something happened between us. How could you have if women produce? I mean, the people come out of the female's body, at birth. So how is it that the woman has the shorter end of the stick socially? She's our first teacher in how to speak, how to dress, everything basically, in the very early beginning. So how does this man thing become the dominant force? See, it's not natural. It's not, it's retarded. It's illogical and it's brainwashing. Yeah, they read this system of things here is everything's distorted. Everything. How could a woman have back of the seat if she ultimately has the control, the initial control, because that baby's in in the womb, she's the first teacher, right? So how could you create something that later on would turn against you? People, you got to start thinking, what happened? What in the world happened? How could you have conversations that who's more important, a male or a female? How could you have a religion that pretty much says the same thing? You can't do this, you can't do that. Why are you creating supporting a system, women, that will enslave you? Hello? You have to start waking up, people. How could you build a system and you have access to that child at the very beginning? And don't program in that child that we are equal, that we need each other. But something happens, and it's happening in the public schools, the division between male and females. And it's horrible, this brainwashing. Yeah, people, start examining this. Just say no. Say no about these things, what they're teaching women. You better learn. You better learn the same. You better learn the same thing that the one on top is learning. You got to. But instead, they're having women fighting women, women cheating on other women's. Shame on you, people. You gotta wake up. They're relying on this conflict. Fight it. Yeah, there's a gorilla in the mist. All right, there's a. There is something in the midst, and it's pulling families apart, societies apart. How do you get out of it? Well, I truly feel we need to be more connected to the root of nature, where we come from, and not what they call civilization. This monetary system, they make us dependent. I've never seen a dog wait on a food line. I never saw a dog with a wallet. Have you? In the wild? Yeah, there was a takeover on this planet, and it's going to implode. But that is life. And life is a cycle, and we don't really die. We only change energies. That's all I have to say, people. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Share this video if you like, and write your comments below. Peace, love, joy, harmony, power be unto you. Take care, and until next time. Bye-bye.